Alright, here's a quick little video just to show you how to install a manual boost controller onto your turbo, just like this one. I'll just quickly explain what's going on. The original turbo used to have a nipple that came out here and went into this hose and went straight down to the wastegate or actuator, which lets the boost air come through, push on the wastegate and push a rod that then opens an exhaust port up to let the turbo stop producing boost. So what the boost controller does is lets out a small amount of air into the atmosphere so that there's not as much pressure getting to the wastegate, so we can control the boost. Now I've modified my one slightly. I've drilled and tapped it bigger, drilled out my turbo and tapped that, and changed the check valve as well, so the check valve will come straight out, basically bolt straight into it or screw into it, and the boost controller will mount directly onto that so that there's less hose clamps and shit like that going on. Alright, so you can probably tell the modifications that I've made. I've just made this into a solid fitting, the check valve. Now normally you'd want the arrow on the check valve going towards the boost controller, and this is pretty important or it won't work properly. Now the boost pressure comes into your boost controller here and gets vented out, and then it comes out of here, and you can either plumb that back into your airbox or you can just let it go out into the atmosphere. It doesn't really matter. Alright, so here's mine installed. Now the difference between mine and yours is that you'll have hose running from your turbo to the check valve, then from the check valve to the boost controller. That's the only difference there, and the arrow would be pointing towards the boost controller. Then at the T-piece, this line here goes down to your wastegate and just clamps on there. I probably wouldn't recommend using this silicone shit, as when it gets hot it gets really brittle. If you get some vacuum line, and probably these type of hose clamps would be better than the screw types, as they're pretty bulky. That's about it. Just one note with my car, it's got a fuel cutout when you get over 7 pounds of boost or something like that. So basically you need to get an ECU piggyback type controller that fools the computer a little bit, or it starts cutting fuel to the engine. So just be careful when you first start upping the boost on your car, that if it starts like hesitating and stuff like that, you might need to get onto a forum and find out exactly what's going on with your car. Alright, so that's it installed. Before you go for a drive, I definitely suggest that you put a boost gauge in your car to make sure you know exactly what's happening. And also I'd run the car with the boost controller completely closed, just to make sure that you've hooked everything back up right. So I removed the whole intake system just for space. Also, the whole reason for Mazda using a fuel cut is if the hose going to your wastegate breaks, then your turbo is going to boost uncontrollably, and that's a safety measure put in there. So if you notice that your car's running weird, just go check on forums and see if there's anything you can do about it. And also monitor the hose as well, because if it does break, then you could blow your engine or your turbo.